So this morning was all about getting the weeds down and then being able to pull out this silage tarp, which is 100 by 40. So it's quite big. It's going to stay here until, I don't know, the fall or maybe later. It's covering part of these two beds here that we still need to excavate out to keep the weeds down so that we don't have to work extra hard when we come in September when we have to start doing that. And the rest of it, I just don't want to deal with weeds. So it's been weighted down. However, I can see it's already blown a bit over there. So I'm going to go get a bunch of heavy T-posts and wrap up that end. It gets really, really windy at night here. In fact, last night we had 40-mile-an-hour winds, which was crazy. And this tarp needs to stay put. So I have some cinder blocks. I'm going to pop some of those down too in various places. The nice thing about having holes in it, even though that doesn't help with weed control, is that it does allow some of the wind to move through and the whole thing isn't as much of a sail. But I need to go weight this down before I leave. The last thing I'm going to do today is plant a little bit more Bells of Ireland in the bed that we already put them in because some of them have just died. We've gone from having, we had yesterday, it was 90 degrees. Today, the high is 68. So we're still all over the map. It's getting cold at night still. So things are doing okay, but they really are struggling. They are used to having temperatures in the 80s by now during the day, every day, and being in the 50s at night, and that's just not where we're at. So the other thing I did was trim up all the weeds here and put down the cardboard, and in a couple days I'll get the wheelbarrow back out here and fill it with wood chips for this path. And then I need to also do the path that the camera is currently on. It did have wood chips, but they have rotted away like they're supposed to, and so it needs another coating of cardboard and wood chips, and we still have some pathways to do, but not too much. We're doing pretty good. So sweet peas are still producing. I think I have gotten 8 harvests off of this so far, and it just keeps going. I love them. This was not, this was some that I planted from seedlings, but others it was just direct sown from last year. And I was tickled the other day when I came out here to harvest and noticed there's some sweet peas on the other side of the fence that are just growing wild now because the old ones from last year dropped seed over the fence, so that's kind of fun. Gosh, if I could replant everything with, I don't know, sweet peas and mint instead of thistles, that'd be pretty awesome. So this is looking so much better mentally. My brain is in a much better place now that all of this is taken care of. It was a big job, but it was totally manageable. Now I can go back to focusing on, you know, getting the rest of the stuff planted out and doing these final pathways with the wood chips. And then it's just going to be about harvest and weeding and maintenance. And that's great for the rest of the season. So I'm going to go grab those cinder blocks because I'm noticing more and more of the wind on the silage tarp. And then I'll show you where we're going to put the bells of Ireland. Well, the Lisianthus are not doing nearly as well as they did last year this time. Again, we've still been cold, but all this yellowing, I think most of this row is kind of severely damaged. I don't know what we'll get out of it. This row is pretty good. They're sending up their first stalks. The first ones are always very, very short. And I didn't know that last year, so I panicked, but it ended up being great. So I think we'll get enough Lisianthus on this row, but I think we're gonna lose most of these. I don't think most of them will produce. And I still can't figure it out why. Is it because it's been cold for so long? Is it a water issue, a soil issue? I just don't know. But, you know, it is what it is. We do have Didiscus all along this row and 3 different successions of sunflowers over there that are doing great. In that row over there, we've got the snapdragons, the hardy summer ones, and some of them got eaten or just vanished. They're super tiny seedlings when they went in, so some of them just didn't make it, but that's okay. I have celosia in the greenhouse that I'll transplant into some of the holes. And in the far row, I've got more Didiscus, and then I direct sowed more sunflowers, and they are coming up and they're looking good. And in this row, you can see we've got our first succession of sunflowers here. This is the first one planted. It's doing great. Some of them are blooming. They're blooming kind of short, some of them, but that's okay. It's just the first one. Then our marigolds, these guys are looking great. Just looking perfect. Strawflower is still producing. The feverfew is okay. Should be twice that size, but I am getting stems off of it. And then the little dirt patch there, I direct sowed zinnias, and some of them are coming up, which is great. Now this straw patch here is where I had originally sown sunflowers. Nothing came up. So then we planted these bells of Ireland, and they are very yellow. So I don't know if that is a soil issue or what, but I have more. I'm gonna pop them in where some of them have disappeared. And then we've got zinnias over here, which are starting to revive, the ones that survived. And I direct sowed a bunch of zinnias in the holes that we had. So we're gonna get more there. And I'm pretty sure that grass down there is millet, I hope. I have also sown a bunch of millet 50 of the purple and the green. They're my favorite. At home, I did that yesterday. Those will be ready to come out, and we have plenty of bed space where I did plant grass, but a lot of it died. So that bed space will be saved for them. And then the far bed, well, first we have, I planted more of those snapdragons that we got, the seedlings here. And I have been harvesting. Some of the original snapdragons from the fall are producing a little bit, but they're not great. And then we do have a little bit of status that survived. There's more Daucus through here, chocolate lace flower, which is what this gorgeous stuff is over here. I've gotten tons of harvests off of it. It is beautiful. It's 7 feet tall, so it's doing really well. And then the back row is stock that is left over from the spring. And this was all Amimagus. So it is time to pull this all out, fork the bed, and it's going to be a sunflower bed. And one of the main reasons I'm making it a sunflower bed is not just because I need space for more successions of sunflowers, but because sunflowers have a really good taproot, they're really good at opening up tight soils. So as things come out, as successions fade, and it's time to put something new in before the fall, when I fall plant for spring, I'm going to put more sunflowers in. And that is another effort to loosen up this really, really compact soil. So in a couple days, I will strip that bed. We will take up all the netting. I'll fork the bed, put down gypsum, and then a little bit more compost, and then direct sow sunflowers. And I'm hoping that by consistently amending everything like that, that next year the soil will be a little bit better than it is now. But I'm thrilled about the progress of these marigolds. And even though I just showed you on film one of those little rodents, I don't know if that was a gopher or a mouse, I can't tell, filling his little cheek pockets with the weeds that are right around his hole. They're out here in force, and I have I'm looking at another one right now. They're literally just eating the weeds right around their dens. I have been setting gopher traps, and I've caught a few, but because they're not in the beds, since we put the cages, I'm not super concerned because they're not right now running overland to eat the stuff. Things are still here. If I start seeing damage to plants that are here in the beds, then I'll go back to setting a bunch of traps. But my preference is not to kill. I'm just looking at another one right now. I mean, they're cute. Anyway, so that's the status of where we are right now. The last thing I'm going to do today before lunch, because it's getting late, is transplant a few more of these bells of Ireland into some of the holes where they just didn't take. But the yellow makes me think I just need to maybe tomorrow or Saturday, whichever day I have more time, come out here and just fertilize everything. I mean, the marigolds are bright green. They're looking wonderful. The feverfew is a little yellow, so maybe it just needs some fertilization out here. But the snapdragons, other things are pretty green, so it might just be the bells. We'll see. But again, they went in the ground, very, very tiny seedlings, and our temperature swings have been crazy. So they'll take or they won't. But I'm okay with where things are. Normally things are a lot further along at this point, but I'm just happy that there are plants in the ground and things do seem to be doing well, and I do have things to harvest. That's what matters. The other thing I did this morning was clean out this bed. This is the pollinator patch bed, and it was really overrun by weeds just everywhere. Now there are daffodils planted in here. This is a monkey flower bush, which is not doing well. I took out all of the borage because it was done, and dropped its seed, so it'll come back. But we've got plants in here that are struggling, and I need to, I think, maybe look at where the irrigation is going, because there are places in here where it feels nice and wet, and then other places where it's bone dry. So I might just need to add a little bit more irrigation through here. I probably won't do too much about planting right now because we are going into the hottest time of the year. This patch in general is mostly just for it's for pollinators. So we've still got the salvias, the verbenas, and this monkey flower. And then we've got a few calendula that are popping up. And so, whatever continues to come up, probably not much until spring, but it did feel good to get this cleaned out because it was really full of weeds. Okay, so I'm gonna pop these bells of Ireland in, and then I'm gonna get out of here because it's lunchtime. I'm really hungry. So something that I did not do today is weed treatment. I brought out with me this vinegar. It's 30%, so this is really strong. You shouldn't get this on your skin. It is, it's not like household vinegar. It is strong. But this strength of vinegar will kill any plant that it touches, but just the top growth. So not the roots, but this is what I'm going to use for all of the plants that are popping up in the wood chips in the pathway. They'll keep coming up and that's okay. I can keep spraying. But the reason I didn't do it today is it is windy today. And even though this mister is for close work, I did not want to risk this blowing any of this vinegar onto all those beautiful plants that I just showed you right next to the walkway where I'm going to be treating. So this will wait for a very hot day, but also a very still day, and we'll have those coming up. But it is too breezy for this, too much overspray, and then it would kill the plants that I'm happy are finally growing. So not going to happen today. I did give the Bells of Ireland a drink with some fish emulsion. So I'm hoping that will help with some of the yellowing leaves on the ones that were already in there. Yeah, so that's it for me today. Tomorrow I'm going to help a friend do some garden consultation up in her new garden at her new house. So I don't know that I'll have time to film tomorrow, but Saturday we'll be back out here, hopefully completing some pathway work and getting that one bed flipped and ready for more sunflowers. That'll be a fun job. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden. Happy Juneteenth. This is a really important day of freedom for the enslaved people from Texas. And it's something that we talk about in my family. It's a shame that it took until 2021 for it to become a national holiday. But if you get a chance, try to support a local Black business. I wanted to tell you really quick, if you know me, you know I'm a very avid reader, and I've been using Goodreads for years. I've got a huge catalog there of things that I've read, something like 1,000 books already on my Goodreads list. But last year, on Juneteenth, or shortly before that, I discovered a new, better, in my opinion, application that's just like Goodreads. It's called StoryGraph. And so it is a Black-owned, woman-owned business. And StoryGraph is great because it tracks everything that I'm reading. I was able to import my entire Goodreads library like that, super easy. And then it does all these really cool statistics that I geek out on. I really enjoy it. So I highly recommend, if you are a reader and you enjoy keeping track of what you've read, checking out StoryGraph. And I will see if there's a link that I can link below, but it is an application. It's an app you can find on your phone. So check them out. Really, really awesome. I'm so pleased that I switched. I'm enjoying it a lot. All right. Thanks again for hanging out. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.